Greetings, Vocaloid and UTAU fans all over the world, and welcome to the very first issue of VCB Talk Time, where we focus on hot Vocaloid and UTAU topics, as well as on interviews with the top Vocaloid and UTAU producers out of the Western community. I'm Kentai-P. You may already know me through some of my work or my vocatudes. I'll be moderating the show. The Vocaloid Creativity Board is a newly formed community of Western Vocaloid and UTAU producers, artists, lyricists, composers, and everyone who is involved in the creative process. We aim to form a hub for all those producers who are unable to join the Japanese community Piapro due to the language barrier. Today will be a special issue, seeing how it's our first, so we will have a bit more time to talk. Look forward to some interviews with top Vocaloid and UTAU producers from the Western Hemisphere. But first, let's talk about some hot topics. The most interesting piece of news that we have for you today is the upcoming release of a new Vocaloid called Lily. She will be released by Internet Company Limited, and as of now there has already been a lot of information about her made public. Lily's recommended tempo is 19 to 180 BPM, and her recommended voice range is D2 to D4. Her voice bank will be voiced by Masuda Yuri, the vocalist of Move, a three-member Japanese musical band consisting of her, Segawa Mototaka, and Kimamura Takeshi. They released their first song, Rocket Down, 1997, but achieved fame with their follow-up single, Around the World, which was used in the anime Initial D. Here is the link to the song now. Lily is scheduled for release on the 25th of August this year. The character art is done by Kei, who also did the design for Hatsune Miku, Kagamine Rin and Ren, and Megurina Luca. Why, here's the picture of Lily that was already released by Internet Company Limited, and her first demo song is playing as background music right now. The price for the Vocaloid Lily software will be 15,750 yen. As for other news, we have quite some anniversaries and upcoming anniversaries at our hands. The Vocaloid 2 software is now 3 years old. In summer 2007, the first Vocaloids using the Vocaloid 2 software from Yamaha were released. First one to come out with the new software was Sweet N by PowerFX on June 29, 2007. Happy 3rd birthday N. And the second Vocaloid to come out in that fateful summer was our beloved Hatsune Miku on August 31st. We are all looking forward to her birthday as well. And as you may know, Yamaha already confirmed Vocaloid 3 is a work in progress, so we can all look forward to even more realistic virtual singers in the future. And as we are with the topic of birthdays, Gumi celebrated hers on June 25th, and not any birthday, but her first. She is now 1 year old. And Gakupo, the first Vocaloid of Internet Company Limited, will become 2 years old on July the 31st. I'll be sure to write some happy birthday songs for the upcoming birthdays. But now it's finally time for some interviews. Now the audio you are going to hear may be a bit different from interview to interview. That's because, of course, I recorded them separately and everybody has different microphones. So yeah, there might be some white noise or other disturbances. Please don't worry about it. So now for the interviews. We have quite some nice Vocaloid and UTAU producers who volunteered to partake in the VCB Talk Time interviews, and their names are Koda-P, UTAU Rennie, Mooncrafter and Rave. I'm going to start with an interview with Koda-P. Here it is. Hello Koda-P, and welcome to VCB Talk Time. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be on the show.
Koda-P is a Western Vocaloid producer who became famous with some cover songs on his original song Last Dance, which is also playing as a background music right now.
I love this song.
Miguel. He's also part of the VCB staff and helps me keep the board together. Well, first there's an issue we had on the board I'd like to run through once more today. We had a board discussion about the Piapro P, which is awarded as honorific to very good Vocaloid producers by the community.
Yeah.
Koda, what started the discussion in the first place?
Let's see. The first time that I actually brought up the discussion, or rather the thing that finally made me decide to make a topic on the board was I had seen a lot of people starting to add a P to the end of their names who did not actually earn a P. And I've seen this around before because I was guilty of it too. So I thought maybe it would be about time that somebody made a post that the Western community has access to that shows people, what the actual deal is with that little P and what it actually represents.
Well, that's quite reasonable. Even I had no idea in the beginning. I think that's the problem with most people who just started using Vocaloid and are new to the scene.
Yeah, we don't have much access to that information. Everybody, I think, has been guilty of giving themselves a P at the end of the name because, from our perspective, it just looks like if you make Vocaloid music, or if you like Vocaloid music, you can just give yourself a P.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the discussion could just have ended with Piapro gives out the Ps, but it didn't. We started to ponder if it weren't reasonable to expand the P rule, as for Western producers it's practically unattainable. Unless they can read and write Japanese, of course, and join Piapro.
And why would they even be here?
Yeah, of course. So what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are that since it's pretty much impossible for an English-speaking Vocaloid producer to gain a P because we can't enter Piapro's site, since it's impossible for us to join their site, we need some kind of an equivalent over here because we put in just as much effort as the Japanese do into writing our music, and I've heard English songs that are much better than some of the Japanese songs that are out there that are made by people that are made by Vocaloid producers who have a P.
Definitely.
Yeah, and so I figured it's about time somebody made our own version of it, but it would seem that it would be very difficult to start up a new idea, so I noticed that since people were already giving themselves P's in English, why not just use the half-width character P, as opposed to the Japanese who use the full-width character P. There is a difference there's a difference on the character in the ASCII table chart between the full-width P and the half-width P, so it's not easy to tell, but there usually is a difference when we're appending a P onto the name.
Okay. We also brought up the issue that maybe the P could be given out by the larger Western communities, like Vocaloid Otaku, or maybe the Vocaloidism Board.
Yeah. And so, since Piapro is the leading side in all of this, in the Japanese community, then I was thinking, what's the English equivalent? Well, there's unfortunately a lot of English equivalents. There are 5 major Vocaloid boards and 1 million little ones. And it's hard to find a center of the English Vocaloid community. So as a result, I think it'd be best to just pick the top few, like Vocaloidism, Vocaloid Otaku, hopefully the Vocaloid Creativity Board here pretty soon. But that's for a time in the future. But I think that the very major sites, like Vocaloid Otaku, for example, is even recognized by Zero G and by Power Effects. And so I would think that would be the equivalent of being sponsored by Krypton, just like Piapro is. And so I figured they would have just as much right to give away the Western P as Piapro has to give the Japanese P.
Yes, I'd definitely had to agree on that.